Right, guys, so this is an interesting conversation that Ziggy had with a local man who called into her live stream who claimed to have worked with Don Wells. Now, that's interesting in itself. However, he said quite a bit more. And I'm going to start this video with a healthy dose of skepticism. I'm skeptical of everybody on the internet, but I'm particularly skeptical of people who speak out in the Summer Wells case, because we haven't really had a good track record of people telling the truth. And I'm doubly skeptical because this comes just 2 days after someone rang into Dollyvision and then went on Ziggy afterwards, claiming to be a cousin of Candus. And I did a long live stream the other night. Was it Wednesday night? No, it's Wednesday today. Monday night, I think it would have been. Anyway, doesn't matter when it was. And yeah, she claimed to be a cousin of Candus, yet she had family in the Holler in Ben Hill. She got a key date wrong. Some guy called Spider, who she said was busted through this anonymous tip for drugs and guns, and it turns out that he was arrested at 2 a.m. But it was not June 15th, 2021. It was July 15th, 2021. Is this all coming back to you now? So the fact that she believed, I'm telling you, she said, she believed that Summer was kidnapped and sadly killed through a mistaken identity, because these kidnappers who were connected to Spider stole Summer thinking that she was Marlena Crawford's daughter, because they were blaming the Crawfords for this anonymous tip and all of this money that this drug gang lost. However, when Spider was caught, he had one gun on him, so hardly a massive weapons dealer. And instead of kilos and kilos of drugs on him, he had 13 grams of pot, barely personal use, and 7 grams of meth. So not the massive drug dealer that you'd think would be involved in a gang that would be prepared to steal a child. Hardly Mexican cartel, or they're not the mafia. This seemed very low level. This guy just walking along. Yes, a tip was called in, but how can it be retaliation when Spider was arrested a month after Summer went missing? So it's interesting that someone else comes out of the woodwork after almost 2 years and calls in to Ziggy's show. Now, he says he enjoys Ziggy. He's been watching Ziggy. He, at the end of the conversation, he was imitating Prayer Garden of America, which was pretty funny. But yeah, so he wouldn't give his name. He said that he was local, lived in Kingsport. He had 3 sisters, 6 brothers, I think he said, and one of his brother-in-laws was a Lawson. So he's kin to the Lawsons, to the Dykes, the Lights, the Browns, as in Jodie Sue's family. So this guy has connections. So it's not surprising that he didn't want to give his name. But he wasn't using like a voice changer or anything. So if anybody really wants to recognise him, they're going to do by his voice. I don't know. There was actually 2 things that were really interesting about this conversation. So I'm going to play you a clip in a minute when he talks about Summer. But what I want to talk about first is this. Now, this is this big drug bust that happened in 2013. So I'm reading this from the Eastern District of Tennessee, United States Attorney's Office. Now, I have talked about this before. I've done a video about this. I've talked about it in various videos, to be honest. But there was 32 people in 2013 who were busted. A lot of drugs were seized. This guy that called into Ziggy's, I think he said he was the brother-in-law of this dude, Randall Michael Lawson. But he also knows Kenny Lawson. Now, a lot of Lawsons were busted. some Crawfords, some Dykes, some Lights, James Light, who was deemed to be a drug kingpin, who lives on Beach Creek. That's the Rogues Gallery. Now, the interesting thing that he said was that it's absolutely true that Jodie Sue Brown, who, as you know, used to be a neighbour of the Wells, lived at 125 Ben Hill Road, she was a major snitch, as was Andy Bernard. He also snitched. And that's the reason why they stayed out of jail, particularly Jodie Sue. Now, Andy has done time for drugs in the past, but Jodie Sue has been arrested, but she's like skated, just skated along under the radar. She was a major snitch. Now, she said that she's worked with Lawson for years and she's worked with police for years. So she's never denied that she's snitched on people. But as these people, you know, this is 10 years ago, you know, some of these people are already out of jail, I think. Some of them will be due to come out. And Ziggy rightly asked this guy, well, why isn't she scared now that all of these people, you know, are going to be at large again? And he said, well, she gets on so well with the police, no one dare touch her. How interesting is that? I haven't checked, actually, to see if Jodie Sue's responded to this guy, because I'm sure she's aware that someone in her manner has spoken out. Yeah, so during the investigation, the DEA, in conjunction with agencies in Tennessee, North Carolina and Georgia, seized a total of 105 kilos of coke, 271 pounds of marijuana, hundreds of oxycodone pills, multiple firearms, approximately $2.5 million in cash, and 3 parcels of real property in the Eastern District of Tennessee. Now, that's a drug bust. That is a drug bust. That is a lot of people put out of business. It's not just the 32 that were caught. Because this guy spoke to Ziggy, said he wasn't caught. You know, he was saying we, and then he said, I wasn't caught. So he was part of it, allegedly. So it says, in total, the investigation revealed that between 2002 and 2012, approximately 6,545 kilos of marijuana, 35 kilos of coke, and over 20,000 oxycodone pills were distributed in the Eastern District of Tennessee by these individuals. So this is a big, big bust. Got here also William A. Lawson and Randall Michael Lawson pled guilty to Social Security fraud. Charles T. Lang and Jeffrey M. Bledsoe also pled guilty to possessing a firearm in the furtherance of drug trafficking offences. So some of them got 10 years in prison. Some of them got 20 years in prison. So Michael Lawson faces a mandatory 20 years in prison, a maximum fine of... Dear me. That's a big... Look. $20 million and at least 10 years supervised release upon his release from prison. William Lawson, Kenneth Lawson, Tia Lawson, Brock A. Lawson, Jessica L. Lawson. So they're the 10 years ones. So remaining individuals face a maximum term of 20 years. I mean, look, this is huge. James Light, some Garcias, each face mandatory terms of 5 years in prison. Now, you see, the media said that it was James Light that was the kingpin, but no. Anyway, this guy that spoke to Ziggy said, you know, Sheriff Ronnie Lawson is one of his kin, kind of, I suppose, might be indirectly. He thinks that the police know a lot more than they are letting on. So I'm going to play you a clip regarding what he said about what he thought happened to Summer. So he claimed to know Don Wells. Ziggy asked him whether he'd ever said anything inappropriate, you know, about children or young people. And he said no, he wouldn't hurt anyone. He's a loudmouth, but he wouldn't hurt a child. But let's play a few minutes of this.
What do you think happened to Summer? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the police know more. I think that, Jesus. Lord Ziggy, I don't know. I mean, you study it more than I do. I just don't know.
Right. But see, you knew, like, you know a little bit more, you know, you're a local and you've spent time with some of these people and partied a little bit with some of these people and stuff. And so and you know, you talk about the stuff that Don used to talk about and stuff. Like, you know, like, was he one that seemed to, did he talk about a bunch of really inappropriate things? Like, I'm not talking about, I mean, you said that you didn't ever hear him talk about, you know, very young girls, or anything. I mean, you didn't hear him really talking appropriately.
I don't think Don would ever hurt a child. I don't think Don would ever hurt a person. I think he would maybe get drunk and argue with somebody, but I don't think he'd even take a swing at nobody if they didn't hurt him. I don't think he's a violent person. I think he's very vocal and gets drunk and blah, 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 blah. But as far as touching anybody or hurting anybody, let alone a little child, or, you know, he's not that type of person. From what I know, he never would. No.
I wonder if you don't think he could have got into a drug debt with somebody and, I don't know, got in a bad predicament where I don't know if if there's things going on around that area, like there is some type of trafficking or something going on. There's something going on, and it's tied into like the business people of the area, like the stewards, even law enforcement, and also people that
stewards would never hurt a child. Or
right.
Like that. They may be involved with the drugs or money laundering or stuff like that. They would never hurt a child.
I just wonder, I know, but like, you don't think, I don't know. There's a lot of people that got busted for like, you know, child porn and stuff like that around there. And I just wonder.
I don't know anybody.
Oh my gosh.
Can you tell me who got caught for that?
Sherfy. What's his first name, guys? Again, is it Don Sherfy? Don Sherfy Jr. Who else, guys? Frank Light is like big time, like scary guy.
Well, yes, we've all heard about that around here, of course.
Yeah, Frank Light. Now, he did say earlier on that Frank Light was a scary dude. He also said he didn't want to talk about Ricky Crawford Jr., although he didn't implicate the Crawfords either, like Candace's cousin did. And he also said that he'd never met Candace, never been to 110 Ben Hill Road. He was a co-worker of Don's. He didn't kind of socialise with him. Oh, and he also once went into Burger King and saw Don Wells and Andy Bernard there hanging out. So that's interesting. But I'm going to skip a little bit now. He got off the phone pretty quickly, pretty sharpish, when he, I think, felt like he was saying more than he should. Or just leading us to believe he said more than he should. He did come back a couple of times, actually. He rang back in just to say some, other things. But, yeah, let's play this. About there.
Okay, well, you don't have a theory on what happened to Summer then? I mean, you've never been to the house. Have you ever been down there to Ben Hill Road?
I've been on Beach Creek Road and drove through there, but I've never been at Ben Hill Road. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, Ben Hill Road is just a side shoot, like
What about the people that surrounding, like that you're friends with that also not know Don and know Candace? What do they think happened? I mean, yeah.
It's a whole bunch of different people, and they got a whole lot of different opinions, Ziggy. But I don't know. I just don't know.
Do they think
I don't know. I think the police know a whole lot more we do, and we gotta have a little bit of patience. But I guarantee you, they know a lot more we do. Tell you what, they don't know they know a lot more we do.
Yeah.
I've heard that before, that the locals believe that the police know a lot more than they're letting on. Now, whether that's just people's opinion or whether there's various leaks, amongst family members, because it's a relative list, particularly Beach Creek's a smallish community. Everybody's kin to everyone else, aren't they? Now, this guy is not a Beach Creeker. This guy lives in Kingsport, but it's, having 3 sisters and 6 brothers, then, they've married into different families, and that's how everyone becomes related, if not by blood, then by marriage. So we've got to be patient with the cops, that they're doing their best. He said that people ridicule Hawkins County, people ridicule the TBI, and I believe the TBI knows a lot more. I don't have much faith in Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, to be quite honest, but he knows more than I do, obviously. So, yeah, next.
And they ain't going to tell us either.
Do you think that they're not telling people because they're trying to solve the case, or do you think they aren't telling people because they're possibly involved and there's maybe some people involved like higher up that...
No. They ain't going to say nothing because they know a lot of stuff. They got a lot of electronic media and stuff. Not media, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they've got a lot of electronic data, but Detective John Pruitt in April of 2022, confirmed by Leslie Earhart from the TBI on June 15th, 2022, that they've got reams and reams of data, but none of it has come to anything. So I'm just wondering whether it's this guy's opinion and actually they don't have anything. Oh, I've also heard that there isn't going to be a press conference on June 15th, 2023. Obviously, that's just what I've heard. Maybe they'll pull it out the bag and do a presser, or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just let the 2-year mark slip by and stay quiet. Yeah, last little bit. Let's play this through.
I know a few people in law enforcement, which everybody does around here, which is rumors, but they know more than we do. It ain't like they don't care. Everybody acts like, well, law enforcement don't care. They Hawkins County and they don't care, and TBI they don't care, and FBI's like, shit. Let me tell you something, Ziggy. They know everything. They know everything. Let me tell you this too. There's a reason certain folks ain't hanging around Benny Hill Road anymore. I'm just talking. Some people I know in law enforcement. There's a reason some people are across the country now.
What, who, Marlena Crawford?
No.
That's not a name that you're thinking of?
No. Main characters.
Oh, Don Candus?
Yeah.
You think so? You think that they're
There's a
running?
reason.
But you don't think that they're involved though? Or you think maybe they just like something happened where they had to cover it up? Like she got hurt or something?
I ain't saying nothing. But there's a reason they're away from Kingsport now.
Oh man. Oh shit. Are they supposed to, were they ordered to leave?
No. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Now you're gonna have me really thinking. So it had not, there's a reason.
They're separating themselves. See.
Yeah.
What do everybody do once they're about to get caught?
You think that they feel like they're about to get caught? Why?
Yes.
Why do you think that? Because
what do you think everyone does before they get caught? In all these cases, they run.
maybe that is true. That would make sense. I mean, maybe
I don't want to say no more.
Yeah, maybe they feel like. I mean, that's very possible.
But
Kayla, for the email.
There's a lot of talk going around here right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so you think they're running? People think that they're running.
I don't want to say nothing. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye.
And that was it. He went. He did come back a little bit, but he didn't want to talk about that now. Is that just to make his story seem more believable? Or is that because genuinely he doesn't want to say any more because he's heard rumblings from law enforcement? Or is it just local rumours? Because we know that the locals believe that Don and Candus are involved. So the more people talk, the more people believe it, don't they? This could be just his opinion. It could be that people want to pin it on Don and Candus. Or it could be that Don and Candus are guilty of something. And it's only a matter of time. However, what I find difficult to believe is that they're running because of that. Because they're on flaming YouTube like nearly every night. They're hardly difficult to find, are they? They're in Arkansas. We know what town they're in. They've hardly been very covert about their whereabouts. I mean, Don was outside his hotel room with the door number showing at one point. I don't know whether I believe that, whether it's just local rumours going wild. And I know all about local rumours going wild and everybody's wrong. So there's that. All right. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments. And I'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye, guys.